So let's begin. Pulse. On the mic at home, I learn the pulse of traffic that passes. A rush of engines claw the road, then quiet again for long enough to read another poem. City cars rage by. A whirl of breeze through thick lilacs. Air, heavy scented, drags up through my open window. Minute by minute, I rotate reps with Jeeps and Teslas. First my sound, then theirs, each in our own direction, each with our own place to go. That one is brand new. That will be heading out to email inboxes tomorrow. Spring thunder. Thunder after silence of winter. Remembered that shouting still exists. Now that the static has cleared from the air, sound can travel again. I heard once that bird song tells the trees to bring forth their buds. I heard once that if you're able to speak truth, you must. The first spring thunder is a hymen stretched to tearing, a rupture that is both natural and not necessary. I remember going home after my own became a scrap dangling, how I examined my face in the bathroom mirror, looking for signs that I was different now, somehow more, searching for evidence that I was a woman, not a whore. Spring lightning streaks down my legs, leaves trails of evidence that a new chapter has come. What is a season but a rising tide of women's blood, a river long ago burst above its banks? Ladies know the lightning by its smell. When a young body is ready for the lightning, women can always tell. Do not mock the small creatures who hide for no reason. They feel a shift in pressure that is beyond your comprehension, and by the time the spring thunder beats your ears, they will be safe and secret, up high and down low. Let those rowdy rabbits keep their lucky feet. Is it not enough that cold finally permits its own retreat? Sound travels so long to be here again. After winter, thunder breaks its silence. Against her throat. Boundaries are what she will not allow against her throat. They are strong, wide branches grown from her spine, holding her afloat. The shape of life is traced by the waters from which she drinks. I am everything you need to feel whole, he said. Take note. What stands between a claw and the vein, bruised purple in sun, but a connection built over time as seaworthy boats? She looks all around her and sees no safe harbor, no arms larger than hers to seek, no wiser hands for her to hold. This does not mean she is alone, it just means that she's grown. Now she has become the wrinkled hands that guard younger bones. She is the new sprout after the rowdy apocalypse, the obstinate proof of life, the story that must be told. Splitting her stem to grow leaves did mean crying at midnight, but after the seam healed, she smiled and took the mother's role. Long miles of trust yawn loudly between strangers and her neck. The ticket, allow her to search the pockets of your coat. The borderlands are run through with footpaths paved in her blood. Bring your longest, warmest winter coat. The nights get so cold. The boundaries, the wide branches, the safe harbor, the test, each one a hand that Lizzy crafted for herself to hold. Pacific midnight. Watch the blue creep through the black. Pacific midnight is when my shapely vessel wakes. It knows that 3 a.m. is when the world is quiet, when predators sleep between attacks. Borderland hour, not day and not night, unburdened by the fears of either, just a time to be the person I would have been with a different, kinder life. Watch the blue wind through the black. Look how they entwine. At Pacific midnight, I become the woman I could have been. I give myself tea and treats and touches that please. I dump love on myself like I'm one of those kids who didn't know that you can't say that on television. At Pacific midnight, I become all I wasn't given. Watch the blues sneak through the black. The water inside me no longer rowdy overflowing, still as the smoothest lake. The wind settles down, the trees cease their shaking, and I find relief. I find solid ground beneath my back. Watch the blue reach through the black. Pacific midnight is the time for making wishes, for tucking them gently into damp soil. Time to tenderly probe feelings that have no name. Time to remember only good things, all of my many knacks, to recall the universe's shape and how mine is the same. Watch the blue carve through the black. I've never seen the West Coast, but California, I live on your timeline. I grew up with your soundtrack, I made it mine. Shadows on cave walls told me there could be another place, told me there would always be a trail forward, and reminded me I'm skilled in wayfinding. Watch the blues sail through the black. The clock says Pacific midnight. See the deepest hue your eye could imagine. Watch the night give birth to the day. Cut the cord, allow it to separate. Pacific Midnight, Part 2. At Pacific midnight, the air stops thrusting into my ears. The drums and gongs cease their pounding, and the doe inside my heart pauses her sprint to drink from a pond where she can't be seen. What is the opposite of alarm? I like to think it's a golden bubble bath, water perfectly hot warm to slip underneath and between. No blaring jangle curling the soft cilia. No shapes of sound waves that could be mistaken for a widow's keen. Only the comfort and protection of a woman unbothered. At Pacific midnight, I come to no harm. I find the words to explain what I mean, and I set them against the walls rebounding. I wash my feet and release all my fears. Sweet, dirty mouth. I spent too many days away from writing, and it began to leak into my real life. At work, when I opened my mouth to speak, black pools bubbled over my bottom lip and down my chin. They flooded the floors, sloshed away all the tables and chairs in the cafe, darkened the windows from inside, then rose so high they oiled the ceilings, soaked through the shingles, gathered on the roof, and then cascaded down to cover the whole town. The Charles is a different kind of filthy now. It's full of ink from my sweet, dirty mouth. Do not love me. Please do not love me. My ribs were not made with hinges. If you open me and remove my heart, it happens with violence. You leave me spatchcocked, sternum unlocked, closer than ever before to the two-dimensional world. I cannot be your girl. Please do not love me. My bones will forget their form if they melt for you. I am no snail. I grow no shell, and your devotion leaves me softened in the rain, leaves me crawling for you so often that it cannot be healthy, cannot be something for my gain. Please do not love me. Do not force me to use the parachute I keep unfurling and packing, unfurling and packing, unfurling and packing again. There is no testing, it seems, only trusting and release, defense and attack, dry land and the seas. Please do not love me. I am origami paper, and my skin will not forget where you touch. I will show it all, whether you crumple me or make me a bird so delicate among the rough. Please do not love me unless you will take away every drop of my blood and refill my yearning veins with yours. Unless you will press my ear to your chest so I can hear the waves. Unless you also know that the moon does not show its face when you do not sleep next to me. Unless my cool breath is what you crave. Do what you must, just please do not love me. There's a trick to it. My trusty ride died a few days ago. It ran full speed right until it burned out. It passed in the middle of the commute, far from the end of its natural life. The folks at the shop tactfully told me that rehabbing my pink sticker-clad steed would cost more than a good used replacement, then left it to me to choose my own way. I loved them for the lack of pressure and the time to think the shop guys allowed me. In those moments, I thought of my father and his parade of decayed pickup trucks. Bodies already well worn at the point they reached his hands and experienced him, a man who thought he could stop how time rusts. I saw myself tripping down that same path, always making do, having to recall how there's a trick to it, which is really poverty language for we can't afford to repair this, which is unbearable, so we'll pretend it's a skill set others should envy to make our way of life work. I politely declined the repair and looked instead for a new scooter to ride, something that would carry me down the road instead of asking me to bear its weight. Cherry almond. My father had working hands. At the dinner table, I sat to his right, thought about my future, and made plans. Some nights, back in the days of dial up, I noticed his palms, dry, red, cracking. I dashed to the bathroom, urged him to take care of his skin, and rubbed Jergens cherry almond into his winter knuckles. One coat and all is forgiven. My father worked all his life. Recently, he was in hospice, unable to speak but still recognizing me. I thought about how he had made plans. I noticed his bald scalp peeling, so I grabbed some lotion from the bedside table and I smoothed it over his dry spots, just like I had done when I was young and he was not. Thank you so much for listening to some free verse. I'm going to read a little bit from my recently published book, Give It a Home, and then we'll call it a day. So this is chapter 7, titled Inner Peace or Bust. Blackened wings. A dream outgrows itself, becomes the ground. It builds a home for seeds of coming dawn. A nightmare readies fists for the next round. This time it cannot win, the cards are drawn. Morpheus, boy of Hypnos, blackened wings, clouds gather thick within me, you can't fly. So close but never quite there, guardian. Your daily office hours happen at night. A dream solidifies or drifts away, each whisper interwoven spider silk. The leaf that's given time will greet the day, sword shoulders for the warriors who knelt. A dream is an illusion till it's real. Don't look too carefully, just breathe and feel. Carrie's loving the reference to dial up. Yeah, I'm older than I look, as is the feedback that I get a lot. Anyway, ladybug. A ladybug rides on my right shoulder. I notice it as I wait for the light. These days on the sidewalk, I feel bolder. To be seen by others, it feels so right. The ladybug saw me. It chose landing, chose stopping by, chose to come be with me. I wish I could set it into a ring, this tiny red and black gem, so pretty. I'd wear it with a beautiful new gown, a one-shoulder number tailored to kill. No fucking stilettos will bring me down. I'll wear flats because I'm paying the bill. A ladybug reminds me who I am. She knows all's going according to plan. Seamus is rightfully noting that I am likely the Cylon version of Lizzy Co because I'm not wearing a beanie. Well spotted. Yeah, I almost got away with it. Guts. Look at these guts. I think they've had enough. They did their time. They stayed so fucking brave. They look unkind, but these guts need some love. Just a sweet, gentle touch. Don't rearrange. Look at these guts. They shouldn't be outside, but if that has to be the state of things, then I'll take these guts with me on my ride. I'll love them if they're what I have to bring. Look at these guts, worked 24/7 to keep me safe from folks who meant me harm. They did their job, now I have my heaven. These days, nobody gets to grab my arm. My guts are quite exhausted. Time to rest. Each new day does not have to be a test. The loving ground. Someday I'll rest inside the loving ground, a weighted blanket, calming, soft release. But till that day, I'll make a joyful sound. I'll focus my efforts on finding peace. I did the math, and as it all adds up, so far I've spent about 10,000 bucks on therapy copays. That's so damn much. The fact that I have access, mostly luck. It can't all be for nothing. It's my job to make the shitty past into something that makes me feel less like I got so robbed of safety, loving home, good family. Someday I'll rest inside the loving ground. For now, I think I'll fucking stick around. Aging. I'm watching myself age. I receive gifts. Crow's feet and sweet nasolabial folds. Never thought I'd get to see my face shift. Never thought I would see myself grow old. But my tree trunk rings stacked up all the same. To my astonishment, I stayed alive. I learned the secret rules to play the game, and now I teach the young ones to survive. Passage of time, something I will not fight. The body is just the fur coat of the soul. It shows some wear with time, but that's all right. It's gorgeous, even with a couple holes. A new face, sort of, reflects back to me. Same green eyes, all new possibilities. Knees. I currently have two bruised, scabby knees. They ache each time I bend them, though I must. I took a spill, went flying in the breeze. The scabs will flake in time, this much I trust. To trip as an adult is to fall far. Mistakes have greater consequence with age. The sidewalk was uneven, went down hard. The pain filled me with blinding, childish rage. In that moment, I recalled who I am, a girl who heals and heals and heals again. I make a scarred body so fucking glam. I have no want for lovers nor for friends. The scabs, they come and go, and I remain. These days, the pleasure far outweighs the pain. Shoebox. A shoebox, tucked away in a closet, buried deep in geologic layers of coats and shoes and cozy down blankets, tied tight with string and sealed with silent prayers. A tidy stack of images within, some curling yellow from an ancient time, still others sharp as a handsome man's grin. Lift up the box, brush off the flakes of grime. Upend it, make a space for something new. Wipe out the dusty corners, make it clean. Fill up the box with pictures that feel true, new photos that explain just what I mean. The closet can be opened and aired out. I never again have to go without. King seed. People are loving me through my mistakes. They're rowing me along to kinder shores. They seem to think that I have what it takes. They know I won't break if they ask for more. People are showing me a sweeter way. They don't abandon me when I stumble. They see I'm imperfect and that's okay. They understand how life laid me humble. People used to mean danger to my eye. I learned an early predator palate. I always wanted comfort in this life. Took me decades of errors to get it. People I've found can do all sorts of things. Each body contains the seed of a king. Folks. Folks are trying so hard and they mean well, especially the ones who seem to be a hammer designed just to ring your bell, an arrow aimed directly at your knee. Folks all do their damn best throughout the day. Sometimes they're on the spot, just like you, friend. Occasionally, people lose their way and find themselves in a social dead end. Folks are not grown just because they're grown up. Their height, their weight, their age don't mean a thing. Sometimes you're dealing with a little pup, a newcomer, their first time in the ring. Folks are evolution walking around. We try real hard, we end up in the ground. Cards. I asked the cards. They said, don't be afraid. I did not seek a second opinion. They spoke to me in 3 unique displays. They told me not to fear the coming win. The cards joined hands and voices, spoke as one. How much work will it take for you to feel like you contain enough good to be loved, like all the kindness you receive is real? Take off your spectacles and rub your eyes. What stands before you, unfamiliar, is not a threat. Now that is a surprise. Believe it, this one's all meat, no filler. To be seen as a goddess, not as prey, I never fucking thought I'd see the day. Crow. A crow, deep violet in golden hour. Dark crown upon a roughened concrete wall. The housing rises high, it's safe but dour. Windows with break-in bars won't let you fall. What does it even mean, necessity? That finish line, just shifting desert sands. A roof, 4 walls, a quiet place to sleep. Collections, spending just because you can. The crow turns beady eye, it considers. I pause as well and breathe with little bird. I do not have much, but I'm not bitter. You cannot buy the way I have with words. No mother braids adorn my shining hair. I wove them all myself. No one was there. Break new ground. Came out as pansexual to my pal, the one who I tell important things to. He was so damn proud of me, and I felt like I could finally speak my own truth. He's gay himself, and he can't wait for Pride. He's gonna show me off, show me around. I always wondered why I'm not a bride, but now I get the chance to break new ground. I feel a heaviness leaving my spine. My face feels more like smiling by the hour. My body somehow feels much more like mine, a sweetness spreading where I was so sour. This summer just got more interesting. Let's see what open mindedness will bring. Grumpy. Unleash the loudest thunder to ring out. Let rain fall heavy to the beaten earth. The birds will all still fly, they will not drown. The rabbits play in mud, they love the dirt. So sing it out, the time has come to pray. We kneel on mossy logs with lowered heads. We know the storm cannot rage hard all day. We love it when it lives and when it's dead. We rise again to our feet, and the sun sees us. She is reminded who she is. She sweeps away the storm, our joyful one. Yes, with our help, she has regained her gifts. Oh, sing your song, you grumpy thunder gods. We are so strong, we've never been at odds. Carrie just commented, it's not easy for him to make fuck sound elegant, but somehow I do. Thank you very much. That's a big compliment. Appreciate it. All right, one last poem in this selection, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you so much for listening. Monochrome. The local park is lit in monochrome. Someone replaced the white streetlights with green. It's giving Great Gatsby vibes from the tone. I always thought that Daisy was so mean. The leaves cannot be real. They are so bright, my eyes mistook their glow for moon towers. The perfect medium wavelength of light, the green sets off the radiant flowers. I do not have to yearn from far away. I do not pine for what other hands hold. Much less a daisy, more a daisy may, my fingers never knew the touch of gold. The light at the end of my dock is lit. Let's see who rows across to be with it. Shane was asking, does pansexual just mean you love everyone? Yeah, more or less. It's a good way to describe it. Wonderful. Thank you so much to everyone who came to listen to some poetry. If you liked what you heard, I encourage you to subscribe to my Substack where you can get some poems like those every week in your inbox. If you're more of a print media person, you can find copies of Give It a Home that are signed by me, hand-packed by me, and include a cool sticker, just like the one you see on my microphone. So those are available on my website as well, thelizzycoshow.com. There's a tab up at the top that says Give It a Home. You can also check this out in audiobook format, as I mentioned earlier. It just released this in audiobook format, and you can find that pretty much anywhere you listen to audiobooks, kind of all over the place. Um, Costs about as much as a fancy cup of coffee, and it runs about an hour and a half of poetry. So hopefully that's something you're interested in. Go check it out. Thank you so much to everyone who joined and hung out to listen to some poetry today. It's really great to have you all here. It's such a wonderful experience to read for you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time for another episode of Live with Lizzy. Bye.